All right. Well, hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about when is the right time to sell your business. And, I feel like a lot of people, they want to build a business they care about, they want to love the business, but they also doesn't mean that you have to be tagged to this business forever to the rest of your life. And I honestly I love the guy, Jim Collins, who wrote the book Built to Last, but I kind of get nauseated with the whole idea of where he's like, 30-year big, hairy, audacious goal. You've got to build this for 30 years, 40 years. And the truth is, sometimes you're just done. I love the story of Joey Redner. He built Cigar City Brewing right here in Tampa. And you want to tell the story?
Well, ultimately he went in there and he got the business going, and then he had to take on some debt and got it going again, and then got an SBA loan, and then it just kept going. And he got to this place where he was like, well, what do you want to do here? And he had to then go take on another personal guarantee and more debt. And he just forget it. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking on more debt to go open up more breweries. And so that's when he
actually got acquired by Oscar Blues, which is a private equity backed deal. And, they've gone on to build the brand. And, Joey put money in his pocket and he's happy. And he didn't need to see it through for the next 30 years. And I think one of the things that you need to be okay with is that as entrepreneurs, different people are good at different things. So for example, some people are good from 0 to 1 million. Some people are great in the startup phase. Some people are good at 1 million to 2 million. Some people are good at 1 million to 5 million. Some are 5 million to 10 million.
Know thyself?
My mom always says, know thyself. Some people just hate the operations, all of the mundane things that are going. And so what do you like doing the most?
I think I've gotten used to doing the start, and now I'm really at that place where I don't want to do the starts anymore. I want to go do something else, but I think I'm just naturally going to go back to doing the starts. I like to get them started and then tee somebody else up to go and operationally run it. So,
can you bring your mic up a little bit? And I think that people thinking, oh my gosh, I have to go through every single phase because this is my baby. Back to everyone thinking this is my baby and I've got to raise it until it gets to be 50 years old.
They're doing it like the 30-year coal miner mentality where they think I had to go into a business and stay in it for 30 years. And that's going back to what you said in the beginning is that's their identity. That's what they're going into. And you really should get to a place where you go in, you sell a business, and then you take a break, and then you go in, build another business. You can buy one and then build it again, and then and then sell it, and then take a break, and then just keep doing it. But that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. Versus if you were doing it on the business side, you'd be following a corporate ladder, trying to get the next job and the next job and the next job. When you can really just build something as big as you possibly can, and then exit it. But exit at the right time. Exit it before you're dreading it. Before you're like, all right, I don't like it. I don't want to go in anymore. Or like I was telling you about when I talked to that guy earlier today, it was like, I know something happened. They either had a divorce going on or somebody's sick because the revenue's now going down. And as soon as somebody coming in to buy it starts seeing the revenue going down, they're like, all right, blood in the water. And you lose a multiple on top of a multiple in that case.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think that when you're trying to sell, you really need to kind of decide who you want to sell to and when the right time is, And I think that self-awareness, that knowing who you are and figuring out, okay, I don't have to grind it out all day long, every day and be miserable. And we're here to tell you, you can go ahead and sell. And my thing that I'm the most passionate about is building it for 5 years and then selling it. Building it, because with technology and with the way things are today, you can do it for 5 years, then sell it, take a break, and start over again. That's what I love teaching people how to do. And I think it's also, okay, I'd love for you to share with the listeners because a little bit about how you started. Because if you think about it, you started out in plumbing, and giving a little bit of your background. Because for me, just so you know, I started out, I have my degree in math, okay? I was a math teacher. God forbid if I hated that. I left that. Then I was in a pastor in children's ministry and youth ministry. I hated that. And then I got into real estate, and then I ended up hating that. So it's like, I mean, thank goodness that I didn't stay in those things. And at one point, they were all passions in my life. But you don't have to stick to that just because it was a passion for that season. You need to find, God changes you throughout the season. So talk a little bit about
Well, I want to go back all the way back. So you said when you're building it, you want to build to know where you're going to exit or know who's going to buy it. You said build it for the buyer. You know, and part of that is thinking about, like, is a strategic buyer going to buy it? Is a private equity going to buy it? Is a family office going to buy it? And a lot of times it's none of those. Believe it or not, whoever they're building, it's not that. They're going to build it and another operator is going to come in and buy it. And it's because they're going to go, you built it to $1 million. I can come in and work it, take it from here, and I can operate it and build it to $2 million, $3 million, $5 million. And so a lot of times, I just want to bring that up because I think people may not understand exactly what you meant by building it to you know, for who is going to buy it, and targeting that is really, really key. But going back to what you were talking about is, you said what was the question you said? Like where we started?
Where you started, kind of how you started as a plumber.
I don't know what it was. Something happened to me that I just was an entrepreneur. I mean, even when I was a plumber, I tried to open a plumbing business. I mean, I didn't know anything about business. When I was doing plumbing, I was out there selling like lunch stuff during lunch because I wanted to be able to build a business that way. And so, you know, then jumping into real estate, you know, that was obviously something exciting for me. I like that. I got the vibe of sales. I really like sales. I like business. I like the numbers. I like the art of the deal. And I really see that's how that tailors into what we're doing now with businesses. You know, and that it leads me to another thought pattern is, you know, people have done business where they are in real estate. They, you know, they rent a house and they're helping people buy a house, or they're, you know, they never owned one. And there's people in business brokering that have never owned or ran a business. And we've had the fortunate side of running 5 companies to over $1 million in revenue and exiting 2 of those, you know, which we have the others, but exiting 2 of them for over 7-figure exits. That takes work and knowledge and know-how to be able to do that. And I just think that it's important that people know once they go exit it, that knowing how to exit it, because 80% of those businesses won't exit. And if they don't exit, then they get nothing. They've done all that, they slow down the revenue, and then they don't have an exit. And that's a really scary spot for any entrepreneur, right? When you think, all right, I'm going to sell it, you kind of check out almost a little bit, and then it starts going down and without the right exit path.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to talk about, I talk about in my book, it's called the dream factor, and I call it the dream factor and the dread factor. So the dream factor are things you're excited to go to, right? Like if you're like, I have a dream, I want to go get a yacht and, you know, move to the Bahamas, or I want to have a different career. That's your dream factor. The dread factor is, I just can't do this anymore. Like literally these people are driving me crazy. And if let's say it was plumbing and you say, if I do anything else with plumbing, I'm going to pull my hair out. That's not the factor that you want to sell your business for, but that's a lot of the people who are calling us.
I actually see what's really interesting, and I've really just kind of noticed this, is a lot of people are going to go sell the business for that dream of what's next. And you know, you can think about it like, all right, they want to go sell their business and go sail off to the Mediterranean, right? Whatever. But the other side of it is that the next business they do has actually a bigger flywheel or a bigger opportunity. So they use it as a launch pad to build what they were capable of, and then they stay in it too long, and that kept them in a job. But if they had exited it, they would move into that new dream of a new business with a new opportunity that had a higher price tag, a higher exitability, because they knew going into the second business what the first business didn't have.
And there's certain things that are easier to scale than others.
Right.
Like, for example, real estate is actually, a real estate company is very hard to scale. We both did it, but it is not for the faint of heart, because you've got to deal with realtor organizations, MLS organizations, state organizations. I mean, it's just like on and on and on. And because we like to scale, we both decided at one point, hey, it's time to kind of exit that one. So I think you've got to kind of figure out, okay, what am I passionate about at this time? So I think, you know, retirement is, you know, a lot of times people say, oh, well, when you retire, if you're an entrepreneur, you need to have a lot of hobbies. And I think the truth is, if you're an entrepreneur,
You need the next thing you're going to do.
you need the next thing you're going to do, because you probably can't find enough hobbies that are going to sustain
Then you're just going to feel like you're going to die. You just feel like you're going to die.
Yeah, I feel like you can only sit on the beach so much. You
Mm-hmm.
need a new challenge, because the whole thing about entrepreneurship, they love problem solving. If you're an entrepreneur, you love a new challenge. That's where you feel the most energized. That's where you kind of come alive. And if you don't have that, that is the piece I talk about with the dream factor of what is next. And that's what we help people do as well. So, well, that's it for today. We loved spending time with you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you have ever thought about wondering what your business is worth, talk about the business. I am so glad we just got a call this week. The lady was almost about to sell her
Yeah,
business.
she called and said, hey, can you just tell me if this is a good deal? And I said, well, I can't tell you if it's a good deal because I don't know what it's worth. I said, but here, give us the financials. Let's do a valuation. Come back and find
More
out the
than
thing.
3 times.
3x. That they were going to steal it from her. I mean, and when she could have done more, and she just thought, all right, well, it'd be a good deal to be able to move on from.
Because she was done too. And so when you're done, you're just
and it was a good business. It was making a good amount of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there was a good amount of work that
So-
goes into it, but yeah.
please, we can do a free mini evaluation for you. And our mini evaluations are actually really, really in depth. But we have been just...
We also have the other parts of this, with having the ability to have that down payment part for the buyers that come in. So when buyers come to us, we have the ability for you to be able to have someone invest the money for your down payment. Plus you can add in SBA or you can add in owner financing. So there's abilities to take down businesses at almost 100% financing or pretty close to it. And if you're bringing a business to us, the ability for us to do that increases their chances of selling. I mean, if they're at 80% in the global market, I mean, obviously we're tipping the scale there because we can move the financing, make the numbers work, and in the financing, and then make it work. So
And don't wait too long to sell your business. That's the topic.
It takes longer than you think. So start way ahead of time.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.